Transwars960 here with another review, this time of the Marvel Diamond Select Rhino figure. So here you go. This figure I've been anticipating for a very long time, and it's been like 6 months since the first pictures came up, and I've been looking forward to it ever since. I got this figure at Toy Anxiety for just over $20. So yeah, so pretty suiting that we get the figure at the time that we do, considering the news has gone out that there's a very good chance that another villain other than Electro in Spider-Man 2 will be the Rhino, played by Paul G something. I can't remember his last name, but yeah. So there's a good chance that he will be in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Not confirmed, and not 100% yet, but good chance. So yeah. So as you can see, you get the nice big Diamond Select packaging, you get the Rhino, some cool kind of translucent artwork because you can see through it, which is neat. On the side, a decent picture of Rhino, nothing too special, but it looks nice. On the back, you get a picture of Rhino, and then some others. Storm has been out for a long time, and Nightcrawler is like one of the next ones to come out, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not too big on that figure, so I really haven't been paying attention. But I think he's coming up like next. I know Venom's coming out in February. We'll definitely be getting that one as well, if you're wondering. So yeah. So let's go over the figure. So Rhino, a classic Spider-Man villain, as you can see, very cool. Starting off just in the face sculpt, as you can see, extremely nice with an extreme amount of detail. You can see the anger in his face. His teeth, in between, like all of his teeth, they did like little yellow painting to make it look kind of grungy and disgusting teeth. Pretty nice touch, I think, which is nice. Overall, just the face sculpt is done extremely well. As far as the Rhino suit on the face, looks good. At the eye there, lots of creases and crinkles throughout it, and cracks and everything to imitate a Rhino's texture. Overall, looks extremely cool. As far as the horn's really nice. The horn's got some like gloss on it, which looks awesome, and the paint is really well done. It looks like it's got a little worn to it, and overall looks extremely cool, I do have to say. As far as the body, the amazing detail continues with the great paint. I do like how the paint, it looks like it's a flat gray is put on this thing, and then they do they do all the detail, and then do like a kind of a really light gray, almost bluish kind of wash on it that gives it the crinkles and everything in the tones of the muscles. That looks really awesome. Really do love it. As you can see, detail continues all the way down. The feet are very cool, and the toes are done with as much detail as the horn, which is extremely nice. So overall, looks extremely cool. Love the paint and everything. Quite a big figure. I'll get into size comparisons later, don't you worry. But overall, looks extremely nice. As far as articulation, it's got some good articulation. The neck joint's interesting, but I really do like it. It's on a ball joint at the bottom of the neck, which is an interesting touch, but I think that it works really well. He can look forward, and he can go up slightly. That's what's kind of hindered. Not a huge round of motion there, but what's nice is he can actually turn his head as well as like do the tilt, of the head. Overall, some really good articulation in the neck. A little hindered, but not too bad at all, which is really nice. He's got ball hinge shoulders that really work well, even though he's got a big muscular system. It works really well. Hinge swivel elbows. The interesting thing about this is over here the hinges are pretty tight. They're not on ratchets or anything, so you can put them wherever you want. But the swivel over here pretty tight. The swivel over here fairly loose compared to the other side. Nothing too bad, but still not fantastic. He does have a swivel wrist, and from like the Select Hulk from the movie, the swivel wrist, how it didn't kind of match up the kind of muscular pieces on the arm to the wrist. It didn't really match when you rotated it. No problems with this guy. It's just about the same type of size and scale, so that's not the same problem as this guy, which is nice. He's got a ball joint upper torso, which does extremely well. I really do like how much side to side it does, which is nice. Ball hinge thighs, which are pretty hindered. I mean, they can go out pretty far and everything. everything. But if you want him to have his leg up, this is as far as it goes, unfortunately. Really, you can rotate the wrist. There you go. Overall, it doesn't really move a ton, which is a big shame, especially if you want to put the Rhino in some dynamic poses. You're really going to be hindered to do so. He's got hinge swivel knees, which work pretty well, and overall extremely nice. Hinge, there are kind of like ratchets at the ankle here. There's little notches that you move up, and then as well as an ankle pivot that works extremely well. He does have pegs on his feet, but no base, unfortunately. But overall, he's a big figure, so you don't expect one. As far as accessories, of course, he doesn't come one. He is, you know, a big muscular figure, so he is not one that you'd expect accessories with, though, so no problem. And overall, he is extremely cool. Articulation is great. Would have liked a little bit better joint in the thighs. It kind of is like that movie Lizard. The thigh joints just were they weren't great. But the head sculpt is really, the head articulation is really good. I'm glad that they didn't do a ball joint on the top of the neck. That would have taken away from the look a little bit, and thought that it was a good decision to put in the joint that they did, because it looks nice. So now time for size comparison. Here he is with some more selects. As you can see, compared to like a figure like Abomination, he is slightly shorter, but if you include the horn, he's pretty much just a tad bit taller, and of course much less bulky. But for obvious reasons, he's a fine muscular tone. I really don't penalize him for that, because he really fits the Rhino build, so that's great. As far as next to Lizard, it may be a little bit looking like Lizard's a little bit taller. That's just purely because he's a little bit in front, because it couldn't fit them all just on the wall. So Rhino is slightly taller than the Lizard, which is good. As far as the Hulk, he is a good head shorter than the Hulk, but I think that it's in pretty good scale, and the Hulk and him seem to have the same type of muscular tone. He's just a little bit taller. And then next to Spider-Man, I think the Spider-Man one is really pretty good. Maybe Spider-Man should be a slight shorter, or Rhino should be a slight bigger, but overall it works great, and I think it'll look good. And what's nice is he is pretty much in scale with a lot of Marvel Universe figures. So if you do have a nice Marvel Universe Spider-Man that you'd like to use, or, you know, the Walmart exclusive Spider-Man, I think that he would work pretty well with them too. So overall, this Select Rhino figure is extremely cool. I was highly anticipating this figure, and it really didn't let me down. There was nothing that really just blew me away that I wasn't expecting. He is pretty much what you see in the stores, what you're going to get. So if you don't like how he looks in the stores, there's nothing that's going to really change your mind when you get him home, because this guy is really relying on his mass and his detail rather than hidden features or accessories, or, you know, something that makes him cool out of package. So if you're a guy that keeps things in package, he's fantastic, and when he takes you out, he'll be just as good as he looks in the package, just he won't, you know, really do something unexpected that really is like, wow, this is great. So overall, it's a fantastic figure, though. I really do like him, and his mass and his legs and everything allow him to stand like this, where, you know, one leg's fully on the ground, the other one's up a lot and not quite on the ground. He is overall extremely cool. Some of the joints aren't fantastic, as a little bit loose in some places. He feels like if you really mess around with him for a long time and a lot, things might get a little bit more loose and stuff like that. I wouldn't be worried about it, though. There's just, it gives you that little bit of feel that it's like that. Would have liked a better thigh joint, but that's not a huge problem. Overall, this Rhino figure is extremely cool. Great for if you're a big Spider-Man fan, especially if you're a big villain Spider-Man fan, and especially if you're a Rhino fan. This guy's great. He looks fantastic. If he's in Amazing Spider-Man 2, it'll be so cool to have this one with the, hopefully they'll do a movie or a Select Rhino if he's in the movie. Overall, this is great. I could not see myself not picking this guy up. He's awesome. Definitely recommend him if you're a big Spider-Man fan.